I mean, you've had a lot of really, it took a while, but you've had a lot of really personal stuff on your records. I
It
feel
did
like
take me a
it wasn't
while.
until like '06, I think. What's the song? Serenity and Murder, that you really started talking about, some of the stuff going on with you mentally.
Be like Napoleon Bonaparte. I throw a dart and blow your bones apart. The lonely parts when you falling like you owing heart. My fucking soul is dark. I wouldn't wish it on you. I wouldn't wish any of my mental conditions on you. I just wish that y'all would leave me for dead. Wish that I would go away and fall asleep in my bed. I'm lethal instead, but I suppose
I think I was like really embarrassed. Um, I didn't when I started dealing with depersonalization disorder, I didn't even know what it was. So I spent years of my life. This is gonna sound crazy to you. It might choke me up by talking about it, but I spent years of my life thinking that I was dead and stuck in purgatory because I smoked a blunt of dust before my ninth grade exams and felt like I was floating above my body watching it. You know, when you see those cheesy shows
Hmm.
and people talk about the near death experience in their body,
Yeah.
that's how I live my life. That's what depersonalization disorder is. But it wasn't, it can't be treated. There's no cure. They can just treat the symptoms. So I spent years of my life questioning, am I in a purgatory? Am I dead? Like heavy shit, man. Like would close my eyes and feel when I would lay in my bed, it would feel like it kept going, like I was falling into the abyss. And I was 14 and 15 and 16 dealing with this. So by the time it came around to making music, I was like, I'm not talking about this shit. You know what I mean? Even saying it now, it's never like spoke about it other than the song I made about it. But I never spoke to anyone about that because it's not cancer. It's not autism. It's not this thing that's people are so aware of. You know what I mean? And so few people know about it. And there's like two books about it. And when you read those books, the people's stories are people being like, I didn't know how to tell someone that I felt like I wasn't there, that I was living outside of my body, that I was felt like, is this what purgatory is? You know what I mean? Like purgatory that we were raised to think, you know,
Right.
that someplace inside heaven and hell.
When did you get a name for it? When did you attach a name to it?
Um, late 2008, 9, 10, maybe around then.
Wow.
Yeah, like when I would describe it to someone or a doctor or something, it was like no one could tell me what was happening. So I was getting like a lot of like, sorry kid, like here's pills that aren't for that, but I guess you should be taking something, you know what I mean? So it's like misdiagnosis, then placed on medication that was not designed to treat this. So what is it doing to me physiologically or to, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
how did that affect me? And still to this day, you know what I mean? So it's like I just kept trying to Google words, catchwords, you know, derealization, or you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Words that I could think to describe it, hoping that that would lead me to something. You know what I mean? And then I found the word, and when I found the word, I never. I still live with it daily, but I can tell you the craziest day in a good way was the day I heard like 10 people describe exactly what I've been going through since 1992. It was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. It didn't fix the disease, but it was holy shit, other people deal with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's what starts happening is when you when you have it, you only feel comfortable in your environment. And the irony of my life and the irony of the be careful what you wish for shit is I'm rapping in front of a mirror at 9 years old, wanting to be Cool C and Steady B and wish that I can have a career in music and tour the world. Now, the thing that scares me the most is leaving my comfortable environment, which is my home and which is Philadelphia.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because I read an interview with you. I think it was early last year,
Uh
even,
huh.
and you said that like you hadn't toured because it'd been difficult for you for like even the past 8 months or so, the
It's
prior 8 months to leave, your area.
I'm going through a lot of, I'm struggling right now. You know what I mean? And it's like, what is the alternative? This is all I know. I don't have a degree. You know, I can't fix a car, you know.
And the album tour cycle is still the dominant mode.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, your job is to interview artists. You know better than anyone. I'm sure they've all told you that. Like, where are record sales? They're gone. Nobody buys wax. Nobody goes to the store on Tuesday like when we were kids. Like, oh, every Tuesday, let's go. What's coming out? You know, go to the punk section, the metal section, hardcore, hip hop. That's dead. The opening it up. Remember, you smell it, the way the paper tasted and shit. Like, it was a whole experience for me. Yo, who produced that? Who did they thank? Oh, they know that band? Oh, this band thanked that band? They don't. It's like, I'll be painstakingly, this artwork. Jan, make sure it says this and tell the guy to do this. And then we go, does anyone care anymore? Does a 16-year-old care? He's probably going to steal my shit anyway and not even know that that's wrong. You know what I mean? Has that kid ever been? And I'm getting to the point now where I look at our crowds and I'm like, I wonder if any of these kids have been in a record store. I have a niece in her mid-20s, a nephew in his early 20s, and my youngest nephew is 19. None of the three of them have been in a record store.
Even been?
No.
Wow.
No. And my brother is a lifelong collector. Like, that's how I got, I mean, vinyl, opening them with a razor blade so that the plastic still stays on, putting it on cassette and then back in and then never, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where I learned all this shit, learned behavior, you know, and my parents listening to Stevie and Smokey Robinson and stuff like that, just having music around, you know what I mean? Hearing Sabbath at 6 years old. Like, yo, the first Sabbath record at 6 years old at night, like, fuck out of here. What are you fucking doing as a brother? You know, they're 11 and 12 years older than me, so they're 17 and 18, like drinking and smoking weed and think it's a good idea to throw on the first Sabbath record.
Oh my God.
Fucking Diabolus and Musica, the fucking notes of the devil. Don't think I slept for like 5 years. Between that and then they're babysitting me and I'm watching fucking Evil Dead and Suspiria and Italian Gore. You know, you wonder how I've turned out this way.
Yeah. Well, you're obviously a huge movie buff.
Yeah.
You know, and in fact, the song on the new record you have with R.A. is named after a pretty obscure spaghetti western.
Yes, sir.
Does that play into your rapping at all? Like the thinking about movies, thinking about, you know, storytelling in film, how film works? Like, does that figure
the
into
way
writing
that people's
songs?
minds work, dude? Like Jordanowski's Dune. Did you see that?
No.
Oh my God, gotta check that, man.
Yeah.
Like, but watching how his mind, or watching Kubrick talk, or watching Stanley Kubrick's boxes and seeing his process and how batshit crazy he was. I'm intrigued by people's process.
Yeah, we had Lisa Leone on the show.
Oh, really?
And she was I forget the exact title, but basically Kubrick's right hand through the making of Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah. She's in Stanley Kubrick's boxes talking about just how batshit Stanley was. The scene where Tom Cruise walks in with Sidney Pollack and he's shooting pool. All he did was walk in and say hello when they're shooting pool. And Kubrick shot that scene for 3 weeks. And he'd say cut, so they would cut, and Tom Cruise would be confused. Stanley just walking in. I don't believe you. What's there to believe?